Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit it long way, 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 shit long way, long shit long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long. She don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, yeah. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand. She don't understand. Niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand. Sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach tryna wrap up a entree. Yeah, told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way. We gon' get the long way, yeah. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tari, and I'm playing games up to the Tari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. And I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. You gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for yeah. So we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, yeah, we get the shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
How you guys doing? Welcome. What's up, Ulysses? QJC, what's going on? Welcome, early birds. Surprise. I had a little time, so I said, let me sneak one in since it's Super Bowl week or whatever, right? So I decided to go ahead and sneak one in. Well, anyway, my name is LJ Young. I am the founder of SMD. And I am here to share my gift. And my gift is that I know the economy has a few more pieces. It's positive, negative, and then there's a psychological piece. And with the main thing is that with knowing all these pieces, I now understand that all currency is you, debt slaves. Everything is you. That's it. Everything is you. Everything you see is you, right? But you guys cannot see that part because you are on the negative side of the economy, so you can't see it. It's actually mathematically impossible for you to see it because you're on the negative side. That means you don't own yourself. And if you don't own yourself, you can never see it because you've never owned yourself to see it. The only way to see it, you have to own yourself, okay? And what I do is share this information and I help people come to the positive side. So you don't think it's something against the system and he's trying to do something. No, I'm just here to help you come on the positive side of it and participate in it correctly. Because as long as you're participating, it helps everyone. Everyone is helped when you participate correctly. And you guys help when you guys participated incorrectly. Mainly you guys help it the most. But when you come to the positive side of it, that is just what you do, period. Like, for example, when you come to the positive side of the economy, there's no longer a need to be scared of the IRS or IRS agents, because IRS agents are they're like the police. They police the economy, looking for people that are breaking the laws. That is their purpose. That's why they're there. Just if you're not participating correctly, they are there for you. There's no different than you're driving down the street there's a speed trap and the speed limit's 35 and you're going 35 and the cop sees you go by and he clocks you with his radar going 35 and he runs out and pulls you over and you say, "Hey officer, what'd you pull me over for?" What is the officer going to say? What I mean by this is they're not going to do that because you're not breaking the law. So they're not going to bother you because you're playing you're doing according to the laws. That's why. So you have nothing to fear. Same thing with no different than the example I just gave. So if you're a person like when you hear the IRS are doing something and they're hiring agents and it's making you nervous, probably because you're breaking the laws. That's why you're getting nervous. I follow the law, so if I hear the IRS is hiring 87 more thousands of agents, that means they need more people to go after the people that are breaking the laws. That's what that says to me. It doesn't make me nervous because I follow them. And since I don't really know the details about tax, I hire somebody that does. Who do I hire? A person that understands how taxes work, but they're personally debt free because they understand at a different level than the majority of accountants, other tax people in their field. Man, you guys don't even get it. People, professionals that a lot of professionals that you guys deal with your accounting, and those guys are in debt, selling you, telling you financial advice from the negative side of the economy. If you got one of those professional advisors, "Oh yeah, you can invest over here, because the interest rate on your student loan is this, and the return rate wrong. You can't do any of that. Wrong. You cannot invest while having student loan debt. That is wrong." But again, if you guys knew all that, there would be no such business, and that cannot happen either. It doesn't matter if I say it out loud. You guys don't understand what I'm saying. Some of you will, maybe point 0.5 of maybe 0.5% of you will, but the majority of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about and never will, and will die like that. Now, people think it's weird that, you know, even when I was a debt slave, I really didn't get into the Super Bowl and football and sports. I just did not do that. And and people, the sports fans would be like, "Oh, that's weird. How come you don't know this?" Like something's wrong if you don't know about that world. But I didn't pay any attention. I didn't really care what they thought. That didn't bother me. Now I understand. Now that I'm on the positive side of the economy and I look at the NFL, I see it for what it is. It's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Private entity. You guys have no all you got to do is all you got to do is see how much the players are making because the NFL pays them. NFL players are employees. You know, you know what you and an NFL player have in common? You know what you guys have in common? Each of you guys have employee numbers. That's what you guys have in common. So when you spend all this money, like if you need a credit card to go to the Super Bowl, that right there tells you you had no money to go to the Super Bowl because you're using a credit card to go. you're going to be making payments on the Super Bowl for the next 5 years at 29.99% interest rate. You guys just be worshiping and cheering on other employees just like you. You guys are all employees. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you think they're different from you because they make more money than you. Whatever. All you got to do is just okay, add up how much the team is how much each player is making, because they always publicly tell you guys that a private entity publicly tell their employees salaries. I have no idea why they do that. They don't publicly display their own because they're the owners. They don't have to. Okay, they do it the way they want to do it because they are the owners. So when you see a player making a $500 million to throw a ball, you don't look at them the NFL employee and say, "Wow, look at all that money they're making." You just got to say, "Look how much the owners are paying him." So in order to pay one player, listen, in order to pay one player $500 million, how much money do you think the owners are making? That's the only way I look at it. That I see nothing else. One thing I and I don't really follow football, and I might be wrong. And somebody tell me this who follows football. Have you guys ever seen the owners of the teams' children play football? Have you guys ever seen that before? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not talking about coaches. I'm talking about team, the owners. Have their family members have their family members ever played football? And this is why I say that, okay? And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, okay? I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. But if somebody said, put it this way, if somebody said, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you a $500 million," but in the contract it says, "But you could actually, if somebody hit you wrong, you could be paralyzed for life." I wouldn't take that money. Hey, you could possibly get a concussion in your head several times, but we're going to pay you this much to do it. No, thank you. When you come on the positive side of the economy, you're like, wait a minute, this is exactly how I think today. I need this body to walk around on earth. I need this body. You break something, it's never the same. I'm gonna tell you that right now, young people. When you break something, I don't care how good the doctors are, it's never ever gonna be 100% ever again, ever. Those are NFL players know that's a possibility. Of course, that's in the contract somewhere. Of course it is. You think the NFL is not gonna cover their ass like that? Oh no, that's in there. Do you agree to this possibility for this much money? Yes. Okay, sign here. But as a regular person, I want you guys to just, if you're a person that looks up to the players because they're making all that money, this is all you got to do is listen. Are they making payments? You know, they'll show you that, hey, this is my house and blah blah blah, and then listen for them if they mention mortgage payment, car payment. Don't look at them like, wow, look at all that money they make. Look who's paying them. Who's writing their checks? That's the piece you need to know. That's the important piece. But on the positive side of it, NFL, man, they got that, man. Man, that's like generational wealth, man. That's just, you guys don't even get it. Don't even get it. Because even when I was a debt slave, right? I used to see people get into their teams like seriously and then get into fights. I mean, people will get into fights over something that they do not even own, don't even own, will get into physical fights. I used to think that is bananas. I'm not doing that. That's what I used to say to myself. I am not doing that. That is not. And then I realized when I chose not to be all into sports and stuff, that's just a perspective of the world. Once you clearly understand that the sports people and stuff, that is the perspective that they have of the world. They believe it's sports or stuff. This is what you do. This is what you pay for tickets to go to this Super Bowl. This is how much it costs. Says who? NFL? I guess so. Congratulations, NFL. I can only imagine what the cities do to host that Super Bowl. How many how many tax breaks, how many tax breaks that city or state will give the NFL just to have the privilege to host the Super Bowl because they know how much money you guys are going to pay to go to it. And how are you guys going? Credit cards. I don't even know. Does somebody are they doing buy now pay here, buy now pay later on the NFL site to buy tickets? I don't know. I haven't even looked. Track star Usain Bolt was robbed by an investment firm that took $12 million of his money. See, all it's going to take is one professional athlete to hear me. And stuff like that will never happen. That will never happen again. They will never have to worry about somebody stealing money from them again, ever. That will not happen again. Can you imagine? Listen, and I think about it this way. Imagine being a young person without the knowledge I have today. It's just, and that was me. I was a young person without the knowledge I have today, completely clueless. Listen, when you're young, you guys don't really look at it this way, but I hope you start to one day. You are brand new to earth, brand new to earth, right? In order to get to the level of which I'm talking to you about today, there's a lot of shit in between. There's a lot of people talking stuff, they tell you how to be rich and wealthy, and this is the way you go. This is what you do. It's real estate, it's this and that, and da da da. That's a lot of stuff to go through. I'm here to help teleport you from where you are today, skip over all that stuff, and get to here. And get to here. What'd you say? QJC said just to give everybody a heads up. The NFL, NBA, and other professional sports is under the entertainment brand. So more like the games are predetermine who is going to win. And I don't, you know what? They can do what they want to do with their company. They can do that. They own it. When you guys see players and, you know, walk by and they look so rich, and those are employees. It doesn't matter what they drive. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. None of that. None of that matters. They are employees with employee numbers, just like you, being paid by the employer. Like, you figure like this. Like, I heard, and this is a speculation, but this is what I've heard. I've heard like NBA players, they can't ride, they're not allowed to ride motorcycles. Now, if somebody can tell you what you can and cannot do, that means they are your boss. That means they are your employer. You can't ride that no different than when you were at home and dad said, "Hey, you can't do this," whatever. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or too bad for them. I'm just telling you a fact. If somebody can tell you what you can and cannot do, that means they own you, obviously, because they're telling you what you can and cannot do. $4,888 is the cheapest ticket you can get for the Super Bowl on next almost $5,000. And how you guys think debt slaves are doing that? Credit cards. That's the only way they can do it. Somebody find out if they got buy now, pay later option on NFL tickets. Because whatever, listen, and if they do, whatever buy now, pay later company got the contract with the NFL, ooh, they're going, that company right there. I don't, if it's true, if they got a buy now, pay later company attached to the NFL, whatever buy now, pay later company that is about to, they've already made a lot of money. You better believe that. Credit cards are getting the majority of that money, okay? Credit cards, all right? Because you gotta remember, none of those guys, like, you gotta put it, okay, let me give you an example. If if the NFL, like if the Super Bowl was here, right? But they said, but we're not going to accept any credit card payments, guess what would happen? The Super Bowl would be canceled. Do you, do you guys understand that? If they said that, if the NFL said we are not going to accept credit cards for the Super Bowl payments, right? The Super Bowl wouldn't exist. You understand? That shit is funny, man. Oh my God, that shit's funny. When you're on the positive side of the economy, which I want, and this is what I help people do. I just help you come from the negative side to the positive side and come participate correctly. Pay all your taxes. Uh, IRS knows about your bank accounts, knows about your income, knows about what's going out, why, where you spent it, where you really did, where did you really spend it on your product for your business, blah, blah, blah. This is where you do it all correctly. And when you own yourself, this is what you guys don't understand either. When you own yourself and this is here, I'm gonna give you an example. What tells the IRS that you understand there's other pieces to the economy? Your personal credit report will tell the IRS. Like, when the IRS looks at my personal credit report, they will know that I understand. Why? Because I own myself. That's why. It says it. My personal credit report says that. It says I own the business of me inside the corporation of the United States of America. That's what that says. What'd you say? It says Tick Pick have pay now. Oh, okay. Wow. You can purchase sports tickets there. You better believe that. You guys, debt slaves, you guys really don't understand. Those buy now, pay later options. If the big businesses wanted to stay in business, they had to do that. Debt slaves, they had to. That was no choice. They had to. Why? Because you guys have no money. You guys are still trying to act as if there's not a recession going on by spending ridiculous amounts of money to go to a Super Bowl. It's just bananas how it works. But that's the power. Hey, you come on the positive side. Congratulations, NFL. Congratulations, man. Respect for that. Like, here, let me give you an example of the positive side of the economy. To the wealthy people, the NFL owners, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. My hat's off to you. Totally understand. Congratulations. I'm late to the game. I'm late to the game because it didn't run through my family to know the other pieces to the economy. It didn't run through my family, but it will now. Those of my family that will listen. But I got a bigger family now, the SMD family, because the SMD family understand it. It doesn't matter when it comes to this part of the economy and understand that there's a psychological piece. It has nothing to do with your family. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin, what religion you are, nothing. It has nothing to do with any of that. Congratulations to all the sport owners. Congratulations to you all. Absolutely bananas. All you got to listen, all you got to do is see how much the sports players are getting paid. And then you say, who is paying them? That's all you got to do is who is paying their salaries? Forget what the players make, okay, for a second. Just forget what the players make. Add it all up and say they are employees, so they're getting paid. So in order to pay those salaries, do you know how much money you must be making? Congratulations to all of you wealthy sport owners. Congratulations. But in my opinion of it all, though, I think evolution is happening. So I think sports owners they're starting to get worried now because evolution's happening. What's up, Kill Lord? The Rams, since Ernest Jones is my age and from my small town in Georgia, and last year he brought the Super Bowl trophy home. Billions in student loan debt, and the NFL can still sell out a stadium and sell Super Bowl tickets for almost $5,000. Ain't that bananas? Listen, those same people begging for student loan forgiveness are at the Super Bowl. Do you understand me? The same people begging the president to forgive student loan debt, that's unfair, blah, 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 are at the Super Bowl. Imagine what they charge for food and drinks. It's already bad enough at regular games, right? Charge $5, $6. I don't even know how much but imagine the food prices to get something to eat at the Super Bowl game, what they charge. Oh my God. Everybody's taking pictures. Hey, look where we are. Yep, you financed the whole thing, smiling and laughing. They're going to be paying for that Super Bowl for the next 5 years, making payments, minimum payments at 29.99% interest rate. If you don't listen, if you don't know the interest rate on your car, your credit card, I'm talking to you. If you use, listen, if you use your credit card to go to the Super Bowl and you don't know the interest rate on your credit card, I'm talking to you. If you are that use your credit card and you don't even know your balance, I'm talking to you. If you are the person that makes minimum payments but uses $500 a month on the credit card, I'm talking to you. If you keep doing that, you're going to be where you're at, but deeper. From years from now, you're going to be you're just going to be deeper and deeper, but you're going to be getting older and older. You guys are going backwards. You're young, you hardly have no debt, so you start digging yourself into debt as you get older. At some point, and many don't, you might wake up. You got till about, at the latest, 45 to wake up. That's like at the very latest to start waking up and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm deep in debt. I don't know how much debt I'm in. Wait a minute. I don't own nothing. I don't own this house. I don't own these cars. I don't own that furniture. I don't own these TVs. I don't own this washer and dryer. I don't own this refrigerator with the digital TV screen in it. I don't own any of that because I'm making payments. Wait a minute. Everything I'm making payments on, that means I own nothing. You got about till age 45 to realize that, to start being able to do something about it, because you're probably, at that point, you're probably pretty good into your career, you know your stuff, and you're still making pretty good money because you're the smartest dude there. But one day you're going to be the oldest dude there or woman there. You're going to have all this experience, and hopefully it's up to date experience, because it won't matter if it's no longer used. But if you wake up and use that money, start getting out of debt today, realize, wait a minute, I don't own this house. You got to get rid of it. A lot of people can't do that. That takes big balls, okay? A lot of people won't do that. Hey, man, I've been in this house for 15 years. That don't mean nothing. That means absolutely nothing. The reason why you're in that house right now is because you don't know that mortgages cannot buy a house. Mortgages buy people, not houses. It's 100% mathematically impossible to buy a house with a mortgage. And if you have one and you're calling yourself a homeowner, obviously you don't know that, because you have a mortgage and you believe you're a homeowner. So you don't know, obviously. Now, what I just said, millions of people don't know that. They have no idea what I'm talking about, and most never will. That's okay. That's all. That's fine. I don't care. Young people, well, I was saying earlier, young people, you're brand new on earth. You're brand new. But you don't know that because you're new. So the only thing you can go by are the people around you, your color of your skin, where you grew up, blah blah blah. That's the only thing you can absorb, because that's the only perspective of the world that you see. But you don't really understand that that is just a perspective. And that's just one of them. There are many different perspectives of the world. There's one world, many different perspectives. Let me give an example. Millions of people believe they are homeowners with mortgages. That's a perspective, a mathematically incorrect perspective. True homeowners know the only way to be a true homeowner is not have a mortgage, AKA meaning buy your house in cash. That's the only way you can be a homeowner. You have to buy it in cash. There is no other way. That's a perspective of true homeowners. They know that. They know that what you're saying is mathematically incorrect because you have a mortgage. That's incorrect, but that is your negative perspective. True homeowners are the positive perspective, which is the only one that is true. That is the only one. Let me give you another example. If you believe you can mortgage a rental property, put a renter in it, and cash flow, you are wrong. That's from the negative perspective. Because if you didn't have the cash, you put it this way, you cannot cash flow from a mortgaged rental property. You can't do that. That's mathematically impossible. But if you believe you are that's the negative perspective, young people. Negative. You cannot cash flow from mortgaged rental properties, mathematically speaking. Do I understand why it's said in business? Yes, I understand why it's said in business. That's just called business. I get it. I'm not here to even disrupt that business. This is what I'm here to help some people do. Come on the positive side of it and participate in the same business, but from the positive perspective. That's it. You come to the positive side of the perspective of the economy, create a successful business that will create jobs, create taxes, all participating in the system properly. It's a win-win for everybody. Of course, companies like Amazon and Apple get tax breaks. You know why? Because they create business, they create jobs, they create taxes. Of course, you get a tax break. Ever notice how the owners of teams seem disinterested in the sports that they fund? They seem bored. They're unlike the fans, players, and coaches. Of course, they're the owners. It's you know, when I look at the NFL owners now, which is the only people I look at, you guys don't really, that's generational wealth. And it's not a jealousy. I want you guys to understand, when you come to the positive side of the economy, it's not a jealousy anymore. It's not like that. It's like, congratulations. It's not like the wealthy are just like, hey, we don't want to, we don't want to share and this and that. They have more than enough, but it's a waste of time. If you guys don't know the other pieces, it's an absolute waste of time to even talk to you because you guys are focused on the money. And the reason why you guys are focused on the money, because the money is you. That's why you're always chasing it. All you got to do is stop and look in the mirror. Are you making car payments? The money is you. Are you making mortgage payments? The money is you. Do you have student loan debt and you don't even know how much you have? The money is you. Have you not paid a penny towards your student loan debt, even when it's been paused for 3 years? Even though this event of pausing student loan debt will never happen again in your lifetime, have you been making payments? Nope. Do you guys understand that? Especially you guys making bets on Super Bowl and this and that. Do you guys understand what just happened? This 3 years, the world had to stop to pause student loan debt. You guys will never, ever, ever get that kind of opportunity to pay down your student loan debt ever again. That will never happen again. And you're at the Super Bowl buying bigger TVs to host the games at your house so you can bring them back to Costco the next day. It's so, man, you should be embarrassed to do that. That should be embarrassing. All to do what? Show up for other debt slaves. They're just like you. After the game is over, listen, when the game is starting to be over, guess what you guys start to talk about? Oh man, I got to get home for work the next day. Yes, you do. All you guys do. Start talking as soon as the game start winding up. Well, I got to get on back, man. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and this and that and that. Aren't you tired of doing that every single year? Saying the exact same thing? If you're at the Super Bowl or you spent some money to do some Super Bowl something and you got student loan debt and you've been crossing your fingers and hoping for student loan forgiveness, I'm talking to you. You guys are all employees. Do you understand that? The NFL players, those are employees just like you. You guys all have employee numbers. You think they're somehow different than you because they make more money than you, but that's whatever, if that's what you believe, but it has nothing to do with their money. Every time you hear a player's salary, you should say, God damn, who's paying them? For one person? That's just one player. So if you add up all the salaries of the whole team, plus the practice people, plus you know, all that, add it all up. The owners are writing those checks. You never hear about NFL checks bouncing. I've never heard that in the news before. Hey, the NFL players their checks are not clearing. I've never heard that. Whoops. SMD will be known worldwide, maybe not accepted because they choose not to believe the facts. You know what's so crazy? Have no dogs. This is the crazy part. It's the weirdest thing. I'm sure you can understand this for sure. I understand that I will be known, and I'm not complaining about it. I kind of like it. I will be known around the world, but at once on the one side, and then I won't be known around the world because the majority is not supposed to know what I teach. Only the minority. Like, put it this way, if any of you would get this video to the owners of any of the sports teams, any of the high-ranking officials in Apple or Amazon, in the financial area, and send this video to them, they will know what I'm talking about. Immediately, they will know. They're like, oh, okay, he knows. I accept that only the minority must know. I get it. Totally understand it. It is the Roman circus for sure. The pandemic emergency ends May 1st, so that tells me that student loan repayment will restart this coming June. All I know is this: it will start. I'm almost, you know what, when I look at as far as student loan payments beginning, first I look at the economy. What would happen to the economy if student loan payments started at this particular time? So put it this way. What if last year student loan payments began in September? That Christmas would have been messed up. You understand? Christmas would have been messed up. Hey, put it this way. Payments start, resume September. The first payment will be due December 1st. What do you think that would do to Christmas? That would be bad. So you just move it, right? So each time it gets close to whatever date, I just kind of look at the economy and see where we're at. Where are we? What would happen if the student loan payments resumed at this particular spot? What would happen? That's why I always say, like, right now, buy now, pay later companies, they are thriving while student loan debt payments are paused. They are thriving. Big companies have to go with buy now, pay later companies, or they're not getting any business at all. So they have to go with buy now, pay later. It's not a choice. Big businesses have to. But once student loan payments resume, buy now, pay later companies, guess who's going to be the first people not to get paid? Buy now, pay later companies. They will be the first. Debt slaves are going to stop paying. They are the first. You think they're gonna make their buy now, pay later payment or their car payment? Which one do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna do their car payment. Believe that. Where they live gets the money first because that's where they live. It trickles down, then down to the car. You already know how those payments. They can't touch. Debt slaves are going to know buy now, pay later companies have nothing to take back, so they're just not going to pay them. I've heard a few Ocho Cinco videos, and the way he speaks, he clearly understands. That is clear. He clearly understands. He just doesn't know there's a word for it. But he's right. But he said, I remember watching one of his videos. He said, I would buy fake jewelry, and because people, since they knew I was an NFL player, they assumed that it was real. Because you got to remember, debt slaves will assume anything. If you are a famous person, which most famous people are employees. It doesn't matter what they're wearing, they're employees. They assume they assume everything they're wearing, they have, is real because they have money. They just assume it. And some stuff, man, to be around these people's neck, I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't assume anything. I just go, why are they wearing it? Is that heavy? But maybe their employer is telling them to wear that. You know what I'm saying? You assume that every performer that wears all this stuff, they actually want to wear it. Some of those people might not really want to wear that kind of stuff, but in order to sell, to sell the brand, sell themselves, they probably have to do some things that they don't want to do. They probably don't even, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some rappers out there, some singers that hate wearing all that goddamn jewelry. Absolutely hate it, but they can't. Hey, if you're an employee and they tell you what you need to do, that means you have to do it. No different than a regular job. No different. Ocho Cinco says, look at my watch. It's not a Rolex. It's an Omega, neither a Audemars. It's from Walmart. It tells me exactly. I remember that video. He told the guest, he was like, hey man, what kind of watch is that? Homeboy said it's some brand name. He said, what time is it? And dude told him the time. He said, see? He said, see what? He said, you just told me the time for free. That, what it was bananas. And I think it kind of went over his head. Most landlords have a mortgage on the properties they rent out every month. Sure do. Most landlords do. Yes, they do. Hey, real estate is the way to go. Okay. What you guys don't understand, desk slaves, is that when you hear the words real estate, those words are positive or negative. And it counts on who's saying real estate to you. Is it a person with a mortgage? Is it a person that believes they can buy property with mortgages? Or is it from a person that buys property or his or her house with cash? Which are you talking about? Which type of real estate? Because those are two different types of real estate. One is bank owned and one is not bank owned. That's the difference. If it's bank owned, they're talking about negative side of the real estate, negatively, real estate negatively. If it's not bank owned, they're talking about the positive side of it, of real estate. Positive. See, it all counts on who is talking to you about real estate, who is actually using the words. Is it a person that's deep in student loan debt? They're talking about real estate negatively, because you cannot buy real estate while having student loan debt. That's impossible. I think the record label owns the jewelry, cars, and it's all leased. I believe all that. I'm just saying, regardless, I'm just saying the performers, I bet you some of the performers, people might not believe it, but you got let's go with Chris Brown. All he sings about is sex. Have you ever thought maybe one day Chris was like, man, I'm just tired of always singing about having sex. I'm tired of it. But his boss, his employer says, so what? This is what makes money. You have to sing about that. I always say this earlier, people don't really understand what Kanye West did. You guys don't really understand what he did. He kept saying, people in the industry are owned this and that and blah, blah, blah. But as debt slaves, you guys don't understand what that means. Kanye freed himself. Because this is what you don't understand. I'm gonna give you the positive side view of the economy when seeing what Kanye did. Okay. Now, clearly he is an aware person, because he wouldn't be where he's at if he wasn't. Okay. Well, when he said something that was anti-Semitic, now with me personally, I've never grown up to be any kind of prejudice or certain people with this and that. And so I had to go look up what that meant to see if the way everybody was responding to it, it was negative. But it was talking about a people, right? And I said to myself, I wasn't, I mean, I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked in the way people, normal people, oh my God, how could he? I said to myself, now, why would he do that? An aware person like myself, like I would know to not ever get on a show and say something like that because I would know the backlash from it. I would immediately know that. So I would never say anything like that, even if that's really not my perspective of the world. I don't really talk like that anyway, but if I knew it was negative, I would never say it, but he did. And I said, huh, why would he do that? That makes anything that doesn't make sense, especially coming from an aware person, that's a clue. You just did something that makes absolutely no sense. And everybody's like, oh my God, he's gonna lose a million, billion, quadrillion dollars and blah, blah, blah. And I said to myself, well, he knew that before he said it. I mean, he had, you guys don't really think like that, but of course he knew that before he said it, that that would happen. He had to have known that. I knew that. The whole world seemed to have known that, but you think he didn't? That didn't make sense to me. I'm like, huh. And so when something doesn't make sense, especially coming from an aware person, I light up. I'm like, okay, obviously, if it doesn't make sense to me, that means it's something I don't see. That's exactly how I look at it. There's obviously something I don't see because it doesn't make sense to me. So I focus in on it. Then afterwards, all of a sudden, next thing you know, oh, Adidas dropped them. This company dropped them. I was like, huh. Okay, I saw. We already obviously that was coming. That's obvious to me. Okay, of course they had to drop them. And then I took a step back. I was like, wait a minute. They had to drop him. They had no choice but to drop him. They had to. What does that mean? He is now free. He is free to do what he wants now. He's in the game, but he owns himself. How many of you performers do you think are out there that own themselves like Kanye right now? And any other performers thinking about doing the same, you might as well cancel that. They're all, you better believe, put it this way, you better believe the big companies are closing that hole. Believe that. They're working. Their people right now are working on that. They're about to close that because you guys will never be able to do that again, ever. Kanye is the one and only person, top performer, that will ever get away with that. Free, no penalties, no nothing, because why? They did it. They ended the contract. Hey, Kanye, you broke some kind of, in the contract, because you know that if you do some kind of immoral clause or something like that, we are allowed to drop you. Of course they're going to put that in there. So he used it in his favor. Even if Kanye went to listen, you guys don't really understand. Kanye could have called them up and told them he was going to do it. They still wouldn't have had no choice but to drop him. Why? Because he did it publicly. This is what I'm going to do. You better not. I am. You can't do nothing about it. Boom, drop. We got to drop him. You got to. Because the world be an uproar. Oh my God, Adidas, how could you still be joining with him? They'll be like, oh my God, dropped. He already knows the shoes are going to, he already knows his product is going to sell. Adidas already helped him prove that. So now he can come out with his own stuff and it's going to sell and the money is going to be all his. Man, you know what kind of, let's Sunrise, you know what kind of balls that takes? But you got, the majority of debt slaves don't really understand. He's a multi-millionaire already. So if he didn't get the money that promised to him by the company. He's not hurting at all. That's what debt slaves don't really get. You get to a point, you don't look at money like that, debt slaves. It's not looked at like that. That money is a byproduct of his awareness. Money is attracted to you. When you know yourself, you have a gift, money is attracted to you. Money is attracted to you. It comes to you. Once you're on the positive side of it, money comes to you from everywhere. And it's not hard. It comes easy. And when I say easy, not easy like it doesn't take hard work to get there, because it takes hard work to get there. It takes hard work to own yourself. He sure did. Once it connected that he was free, that Kanye was freeing himself, it all made sense. Everything made sense. And then I go back to the parts at the beginning when I tell you what didn't make sense when he said it. Now if you see what he does, now you see it's almost like he jumped on the fence. He didn't fall over the fence to be a straight bigot or whatever they was going. Not that far. Not quite that far, but just on the fence to where they had to let him go for even saying the word or whatever it was supposed to mean or whatever. That's why he made that video. That's why he's saying thank you. You guys don't even understand the purpose of that thank you short. Thank you. He's smiling. He was happy that nobody got hurt. Do you guys understand what that means? That's what that means. He's free. You guys know what kind of balls that takes? That takes big balls. But look what he had to do was the only way, because you guys don't really even understand. We don't know the length of his contracts with Adidas and all these other companies. We don't know any of that. We don't know what he could do, what he couldn't do, what he could say, what he couldn't say. They probably had stuff in there that, hey, Kanye, you can't talk about this and that. You can't say that. You can't say this. You guys don't really understand what that means. Now he can say and do whatever he wants to say. What's up, Andre? You guys don't even get it. Do you guys know the majority of S&D family members will be multimillionaires? Multimillionaires. Automatically. Yes, they are owned by the record label. They've been doing this for sure. Is it possible to pay off $190,000 student loan debt, making $100,000 a year minus taxes, living in Atlanta? And see all that QJC. I say to myself, if a person asks me that question, this is what I would say to them. It all counts on how long you want to be a debt slave. That's what I would say to a person that said, hey, this and that, and I have this much and I live here. I say it all counts on how long you want to remain a debt slave. It's totally up to you. See, what debt slaves don't know, when you have debt, you have shackles on your feet and your legs, but they're psychological, so you can't see them. You can't feel them, but they're there. If they were steel shackles, chains, so you could at least move, but you couldn't get them off until you paid off your debt, I guarantee you your perspective of the world would change immediately. Immediately. You'd be like, oh man, I really want that new car, but you actually got steel chains and bars on your feet and legs. You wouldn't be looking at a new car, and you wouldn't care what kind of car it was. You would not care. You'd be like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get these chains off. Ooh, they're building a brand new neighborhood. You can be a homeowner down there. I'm not looking at any house with these chains on for sure. People like, this is what you guys don't understand, Dead Slave. People like me exist, but you guys can't see us. Unless we say something out loud to you. Like me talking on the mic, you would not know I existed if I didn't speak like this on the mic. But if you guys actually had chains on your ankles, because your ankles and your wrists, because you're in debt, you would immediately be able to see us because we wouldn't have chains on. You would be able to immediately see who's on the positive side of the economy and who's not. But what you don't understand is your credit report are those shackles. All you got to do is log into your credit report and see all your owners. That's all you got to do. Those are your shackles right there. Right there. Just log in, go past the credit score, and flip through all the pages of your owners. All the businesses listed. They're all considered a shackle and a link to your shackles. You understand? If they were physical, you guys wouldn't, your decisions would be very different. And here's another thing here, because I always say this about when you own yourself, when you're free, you won't date anybody who doesn't own themselves. So put it this way, okay? So you guys can understand, because you guys really don't get that, how not being in debt would affect your dating life, okay? Here we go. Now, if debt slaves had metal shackles on their feet and legs where you could see them, that would tell everybody that that person's in debt. Now, if you're a person who is free, that owns yourself, you have no shackles, are you going to date a person with shackles? Are you going to do that? You would have to understand that everywhere you'd go, everybody would know that you're dating a debt slave immediately because they got shackles on. How would your date? Would you consider that? 9 times out of 10, you would not. You would not date a person who is a debt slave. That's how it is. That is how it is in real life, but it's psychological. It's the same thing. They still have the shackles, but they're psychological shackles. TG banking system started in the foundation of the Hammurabi Code. I got to look that up. It is a perspective. Here's another thing. Here's a perspective, okay? If you believe taxes are the reason why you can't get financially ahead, that is a perspective. This is all you got to do to determine if it is a perspective. Ask each one of your friends and family members. See if they all have the same perspective as you. If they all do, that is a perspective. The reason why you believe that is because all of you have that perspective, which is mathematically incorrect. Say like you had $1 and no debt, and say like the taxes on that dollar was 30 cents and you take 70. According to that split, you are ahead with a 70-30 split. That means you're ahead. So right there should tell you taxes are not the ones that are keeping you poor and broke. You are keeping yourself poor and broke. It's you. If you're right now spending money preparing for the Super Bowl, going to the Super Bowl, whatever, and you're one of the people begging for student loan forgiveness, you're going to the Super Bowl with shackles on. Don't worry, the metal detectors are not going to pick them up because these are psychological shackles. They won't pick those up. There is no machine built to detect that. There is no machine built to detect what I see. All of you guys have shackles on. If you put it this way, if you didn't have a credit card to use to go to the Super Bowl, to prepare for the Super Bowl, would have you gone? Would have you been able to go or do anything for the Super Bowl if you didn't have a credit card? That should tell you that you had no money to do it. But since you didn't have the money to do it, you decided to finance the festivities. The ticket prices, you guys don't understand this. The ticket prices for Super Bowl are different for everybody. It all counts on how you're paying for it. Ticket prices are not the same for everybody. It all counts on how is the person buying the ticket. That's what counts. Did they have to fly there? Did they have to use the credit card for the airline tickets to fly there, and then the hotel room, and then all the stupid stuff to wear to represent your team? All of it's financed. Soon as people start making more money, they'll go finance more house, more expensive car. Why can't they just be content, buy cheap or car cash or cheap? Well, because they have no money. People really People really don't understand. The reason why you can't buy a car in cash is because you don't have the money to do it. That's the simple answer. Now, I want SMD family members to hear me saying this right out loud. The reason why they can't buy a car in cash is because they don't have the money to do it. I want you guys to understand they have no idea what I just said. Nothing. What does that mean? I don't have the money to do it. What do you mean? You are making payments. That's why that should tell you why you didn't have the money to do it. You're making payments. They're like, what? I got a great deal. I knew the dealership guy. He was my friend, and he was my friend's brother's cousin, and he gave me a great deal on it. He helped me shoot. He helped me get the loan and this and that. He did what it takes. Of course he did. He's doing it to get paid. That's called business. Hey, man, he did me a good, man. Come on down. Of course, come on down. Bring all your friends that love to finance cars. Bring them on down. Do you guys think car lots could exist without you guys financing cars? Hell no, they couldn't exist. You know why you had to use a credit card to go to the Super Bowl? Because you're making car payments. That's why. You're probably thinking, huh? What do you mean? Oh, that's why. Because you're making car payments because what? You didn't have the money to buy the car. That's why you had to use a credit card to buy your Super Bowl tickets and your airline tickets and all of that. That's why you had to do that. You know why you had to use a credit card for your Super Bowl festivities? Because your phone is financed. You know that phone you're using right now to probably listen to this broadcast right now? The reason why you had to use a credit card because your phone is financed. You're making phone payments. That's why everything you see and you're doing, you're going to be paying on it for the next 5 years of your life with interest. You know who's killing the game when it comes to NFL, when it comes to the Super Bowl? The owners of the NFL and credit card companies and vendors and other businesses. That's who benefits. The city benefits. The businesses around the festivities benefit. You're probably walking in like, oh my God, man, too bad they got to work during Super Bowl. Man, that must suck. Only sports players think that. Sports players cannot believe there are people that don't give a shit about watching sports. They just cannot believe it. They're just like, what? Then what do you do? They're like baffled. Then what do you do with your time? Oh my God, you don't even know? Mm-mm. Man, so and so went to this college. He's got this speed he run, and there's a 4.5 flat, and this and that's like, damn, that is a lot of detail. That is a lot of detailed information about another person. I don't even want to know that much information. Why? Why do I need to know that? I used to always say that when I was a debt slave too, because I was never into sports. I used to say to myself, why do I need to know how fast a person runs? Why do I need to know that? And then compare it to another fast runner, either today or in the past. And it's just like, that's too much thinking of outside myself. I could be using that same energy for myself. That's how I always have thought. Instead of watching a game for like 2-3 hours, I don't be doing something productive, learning something, or something advancing my brain or something. Oh man, I don't want to watch other people live their dreams. Like sports players, they worked hard to get to the position where they're at, right? They worked hard for that. So they're just now living their dreams because they've been doing all their lives, right? Why do I want to watch other people live their dreams when I could be living my own? And you guys got to think about this. And this is what I love about what I do. I will never be popular like that where the paparazzi wants to follow me and shit like that. And I'm cool with that because you got to understand, famous people, I know they have to be tired of that. This is what you guys don't really understand. Non-famous people. Non-famous people, you can go to a park bench, sit down by yourself, and nobody will bother you. A famous person cannot do that. Do you understand how much they wish they could do that and just not be bothered? Just go to a park bench and sit down, not covered up, uh, unbothered, no clicking of cameras. You know, like here's an example. Say like you had an argument with your significant other. Instead of getting physically violent, you're a person that leaves and I'm going to take a walk. And you're angry, right? Because of whatever happened, right? And then, which is the best thing to do? You go take a walk so you can collect yourself together. And you just want to go to a park and sit at the bench by yourself. Can you imagine that you cannot do that if you were famous? Anybody, hey, can I take a picture with you? You are pissed off of just what happened in your relationship, but you can't say, hey, no, get the F away from me and this and that because you're angry. You can't do none of that. Imagine not being able to do that. They got to miss that. That's when I see cameras and flashing. Now, some of them does. Okay, you guys gotta be careful of the ones that the famous people that act like you irritate them, right? Now you got to think from a awareness perspective, right? If I was famous and I didn't want to be spotted, I would drive a regular car. It wouldn't be a Lamborghini. I would wear regular clothes, right? I would just wear regular clothes and maybe a hat, but just something, just regular jeans and a shirt, nothing because I don't want to be bothered. Some of these famous people will drive ridiculous cars and wear ridiculous clothes and be acting as if they're being bothered by paparazzi. You got to be careful of that. That's on purpose. They know what to do not to be looked at. You don't come up in a Rolls Royce Phantom. You pull up in a Honda Accord. That's all you do, driving it. Now, sometimes again, that even bounces back to this. Since the majority of performers are owned, are they required to do stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? I bet you some of the performers, they obviously know that. I always see the white kid, I forget his name, the singer, pull up in a Lamborghini and talking about, oh my God, you guys are bothering me. Why are you pulling up in a Lamborghini? Then I think to myself, okay, your boss must have told you to do that so you can just act irritated, so you can get some more publicity and get some more shorts out there and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Listen, debt slaves, performers, they have to be in, like, especially the big ones that have been around for a while. You guys don't understand. The big ones now have more competition with the old ones because anybody can throw a short up, anybody can make something. You guys have plenty to choose from now. So if they don't stay relevant in you guys' conscious brains, you will forget about them. You'll be like, because it's all about the shorts. Oh, you just open up the phone and start flipping. It's like, man, and let me tell you something. It is a powerful program. Shorts, that shit is powerful. I ain't gonna lie, man. You open it up because TikTok goes right to it. As soon as you open up TikTok, yeah, Justin Bieber, that's what I'm talking about. As soon as you open up TikTok, it goes straight to a short. Flip, flip, flip. You could look down and you be like 30 minutes later. It's like you come out of tunnel vision and you're like, whoa, where did I just go? Now that's just me. Sometimes I'll do that and I'll get caught up without really realizing that I got caught up because they are getting really good with these shorts, right? If you stay on a short for maybe a half a second to a second and a half, from that point on, you will get all the like type videos instantly. I mean, whatever software they got running on these shorts, man, they are good. They immediately know if you spend 1.5 seconds too long on a short, they know that's what you like. They got that kind of a window before you flip. Man. I personally don't care for American football, but I started learning some stats because I was the odd man, odd man out when I was younger. Now I really don't care about it and stop doing that for sure. Trying to fit in, I get it, totally get it. But I never did that. You're pretty much working for free while in loads of debt. Man, many people are every day. Paparazzi won't leave Kanye alone. Everywhere he goes, he's filmed. I think they had a tracker on his car or a chip inside. You know what? This again. Let me tell you something. Okay, just the other day. First of all, now I look at Kanye very different than most of you guys because the majority of people don't know what he did by breaking ties with those companies. You guys, he freed himself, right? So that tells me that he is clearly aware at a different level. Okay, so when he does things that do not make sense, that means there's something there missing because it doesn't make sense. So the other day I saw a short where he's driving up in a driveway. He's driving this black truck and he's driving up somewhere to his kids or something. He pulls up to where the paparazzi, he stops and rolls down his window and says, "Hey, what are you doing here?" This and that. And I said to myself, why did you stop? Why did you stop and roll down your window? If he would have drove in, listen, if he would have drove in, left the window up and said nothing, that video would have went nowhere because nobody would have watched it. They would have been like, why are they showing us a guy driving in a black truck? Oh, he said that's Kanye in there. Okay, that's what he says, but nobody would believe it and nobody would watch it. But he decides to stop and roll down the tent. Listen, the windows were tinted. They would have had no idea that it was Kanye driving that truck had he not rolled down the window, but he did, which made no, I was like, that's weird. Why would you do that? Oh, okay. He's trying to get himself out there for something. Oh man, hey, why are you bothering me? You know, this is just my kids, man. Why you do that? It's like, you know what the paparazzi do. Why are you acting like you don't know what they do? Oh, you're trying to do something. Okay. What are you trying to do here? What's happening? What are you building up to? Because he didn't have to stop the truck. He could have just been driving. And first, second of all, why are you driving? How did the paparazzi know that you were in that tinted down black truck? How'd they know that? Nobody would have known nothing had he kept on driving. Nobody would have knew anything. So he stopped, rolled down the window, had an irritated 2-3 minute conversation. Of course, that's going to go through the roof because people want to see Kanye act like he's irritated and crazy. I'm like, okay, well, he's doing something. Using the big balls to detach yourself from from companies that have way more money than him, to have the balls to do that, that's not a crazy person. Okay, I just want you guys to be clear that crazy people don't do that. Many people will think he's crazy. Oh my God, how could he lose all that money, this and that? Because you have a price tag on yourself. That's why you guys think like that. You know, the company can't legally say, hey, I'll pay $500,000 a year to own you. Because that's what it says. That's what the contract says. I'm gonna pay you this amount of money to own you. Now, if they said it like that, you probably be like, "Ooh, I don't like the way that sounds." But it's not said like that. You know what you pay? You know what you focus in on? The 500,000. Imagine, imagine being a young person getting caught up in a company that gave out advances to a young person coming up that had no money, no idea about how money works, and they said, "Hey, you come to me, we'll give you $1 million advance." You give that much money to a person, a young person that doesn't know, what are they going to do? Spend it. I got to take care of my mom. I got to take care of my dad. They helped me get here. They don't even know what they're doing. Totally sold themselves. Spend all the money. And guess what? Now they're owned for the next 10 years by the company. The young performers are not going to tell you about that. That's embarrassing. But they got to realize that they were young. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. You just didn't know. If those type of people come to me, you understand what SMD does? 99% sure I will ensure you that your kids won't suffer the same fate. Your kids will know the power of no, because once you understand how it works, you have to say a clear no to debt slaves. No. Hey, can I borrow some money till next payday? No. You have it. You don't have any bills. So what? The answer is still no. Why are you this and that? Why you got to be like this? Say whatever you want. The answer's still going to be no. You will know the power of no. Hey, you're going to go to my wedding in Hawaii? That's where I'm going to have it. Are you coming? Nope. Why not? I have no money to go. So the answer is no. You know how many people are pressured into this is the kind of strong you have to be while you're getting out of debt. Say like you have a best friend that is getting married. He wants you to be the best man, but he decided he's going to have it in Hawaii because that's what his wife wants. But he's not going to pay for your suit, your tickets. He wants you in the wedding, but he's not going to pay for your tickets to get there, your hotel stay, nothing. You just got to get there on your own. But that's where he's having it. And you're getting out of debt. Okay. This is where you got to have the type of balls Kanye has, but on a different level, a much lower level. This is a low level decision. Do you be true to yourself and say no because you truly don't have the money to go because you're in debt? Or do you say yes and go into debt because you think it's going to save the relationship? So you're going to go ahead and finance and put yourself deeper in debt to make somebody else feel good. What are you going to do? The majority of people, they finance it. They go into debt doing something that they don't have the money to do because they're too scared to say no. You got to have balls to. Those are the kind of no's you're going to have to say if you want to get out of debt. That's what you're going to have to do. Hey, what are we doing this year for Christmas? Nothing. Why not? Because we have no money. We'll put up a Christmas tree. How about that? And some lights, but we're not buying any presents. We're not doing none of that. Why not? Because we have no money to do it. The answer is no. Those are the kind of balls you have to say not only to your significant other, you got to say that to your children. Nope, no Christmas this year. Once you get out of debt, then you can have as many Christmases as you want because you'll be out of debt and paying for Christmas with cash. But until then, there are no Christmas presents buying. Nothing. Do you got those kind of balls? Especially as a parent. Hey, I'm gonna give my kids what I didn't have. Do you guys know that's a repetitive program? I'm gonna give my kids what I didn't have, and that's a repetitive program. Every kid, it happens. Everything thinking that if I provide this type of Christmas, I'll be the best parent in the world. Presents don't mean anything. You buy all these gifts one Christmas, the kids barely if you ask them today, hey, what did you get for last Christmas? I don't even remember. So they say they paid Patrick Mahomes $500 million like it was nothing. I can only imagine how much they are making off his jersey sale. I can only imagine. If they can pay him $500 million to one player, imagine how much money they are making. Congratulations to the NFL. You see where they're at? You see where the NFL, the owners are at? That's my goal. Next is to see what that feels like. What does it feel like to do that? To be that? In order to get there, you have to own yourself first, and you have to understand that the money, everything, taxes, real estate, is you, debt slaves. It's all you. When rappers sign those contracts, they don't even read them, not knowing the advance is a loan and comes with high interest rates. Sure does. Its main purpose is ownership. To get a person, if you give them an advance and they spend that money, that person is now owned until that company gets back all their money, and they know that's They own the performer, so they pay the performer, so they know how much money they're paying them and how long it would take to pay them back the advance money. They already know because they are they pay them their salaries. And if they see the performer spending the money just as fast as the checks are coming in, because the checks could easily pay it off, the owners know that. But if they clearly see the performer spending the money, guess what? They know they own that performer. They're going to own that performer for a very long time. I remember I kind of heard Brandy, the performer, she had stopped singing for like 10 years because of her contract and this and that. That when I heard about that, that is a prime example of something happening when you're young and you don't know, you don't have the right people around you to make the right decision because you're young. You don't know. You're just looking for that money. This is going to help me and my family. The companies know that's how you're thinking, especially if you're coming from no money and you're about to get a lot of money. When you come from no money, you think $1 million is a lot of money. This is all you got to do, okay? If you're a young performer coming up and a big company is offering you, say like they're offering you $1 million, okay? And you come from no money. I want you to compare that money to how much money Tesla makes. Okay? Compare it to that. And then look at the money and say, is that a lot of money compared to how much Amazon makes? Does that compare to how much Warren Buffett, what's $1 million compared to how much Warren Buffett makes? And then you could see how much $1 million is. You just got to go to the point to where you believe you believe you can't be as wealthy as NFL owners. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever said, "Man, I want to be as wealthy as NFL owners," or do you think that dream is too big? Here are the NFL owners that are doing it, right? They're doing it, and they're human beings just like you, and you believe you can't do that. They're not special. Why do you think they're different? Do they have different knowledge and perspectives of the economy than you? Yeah, that's it. They have a different perspective than you. You have the wrong perspective. They obviously have the right one. Thanks to SMD, my kids won't be debt slaves. They're going to heirs to they're going to heirs to my wealth. Better believe it. People think people think I'm joking when I say that. Even when they hear other people say that, man, my kids are gonna because you guys don't get it. That's why. That's an automatic. Once you own yourself, especially as young parents, say like you're in your 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and you come across my channel and you hear me and you're married and you got kids, if I could get both you guys to be on the same page as SMD while you're in your late 20s, early 30s, your life will be changed forever, and so will your kids' lives be changed. Automatic. You free yourself and know what it means to finance a car, and then all of a sudden you guys have kids and they start coming up, hey mom, dad, I want a car. I'm almost 16. My friend said is you can go down and find it. They'll know right away. This is the point where your kids will be. When that happens to them, when they get to the age of driving, and they hear a debt slave teenager say, hey, my mom and dad financed the car for me, your kid will automatically know that because you will have already told them that that is going to happen and know not to listen to that. Your kids will already know that. They will already know that people with money don't finance cars. They will already know that. Your kids will be prepared, especially in public school, right? They will be prepared, but most likely, once you understand this as parents, and you create your own, you'll be wealthy, and your kids will go to different schools that better understand how it really works. Because once you understand how it really works, you truly see the purpose of public schools. Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, now I get the purpose of public schools. I get it. I get how it all works. I totally understand it. Totally respect it too. Totally respect it. You know, you're like, when you're in public schools, you think, oh, what's the big deal? What are they teaching in private schools different than they're teaching in public schools? It counts on what type of private school you're talking about. The majority of kids that are in public schools are children of debt slaves. No money. Debt slaves having kids. No money. And then as you're going through public schools, they basically are telling you, hey, you're not going to be shit if you don't go to college. Hey, look, everybody, all the performers and everybody, hey, I got my PhD, I'm this and that, and I went to this college and this and that. So you're going to automatically believe that you have to do that to be them. Meanwhile, you don't know that they're buried in student loan debt because what? By the time you get to college age, you had money, you never had money all your life. Guess what you're not going to have when it's time to go to college? Money. You're not going to have it. So guess what you're automatically going to do? You're going to take out a student loan debt thinking when you get a good job, you're going to pay it back. The same old program. I get it. Totally get it. Totally understand it. Totally understand. I get it. It's part of the program. You don't have to be on the negative side of that program. No, it's totally. I understand why. Yep. Valentine's Day coming up. If you have no money to buy gifts, you got to be able to say no. That's the balls you have to have. People in relationships, especially men. Do you have those kind of balls? First of all, do you have the balls to add up all your debt and know that you're in debt? And then do you have the balls to tell your significant woman that you have no money to buy her a Valentine's gift and you won't be able to do that for probably a few years? You got those kind of balls? Will she leave you? This is a test for you. If you heard this channel as a young man and you're in a relationship and you wake up and realize that you're a debt slave, and the only way you're going to be able to get out of it is that you got to get out of debt. That's the only way. So what that means is that you can't shower your girlfriend with gifts. You can't take her to vacations. You can't buy her birthday, go all out for her birthday, go all out for Valentine's Day. You got to tell her no. Will she stay with you? If she leaves you, she did you a favor. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. You can't see it because you have your feelings involved, your emotions involved. But when you're on the positive side of the economy, those are removed. If she leaves you because you can't afford to buy her gifts, she did you a favor. Let her let her be with the guy that's going to do it, that's going to continue to go into debt to be with the woman. That's what you got to let her be. Do you have the balls to do that? Not many dudes do. Oh man, she might get with so and so. He gonna be effing my girl and this and that. But you don't own her. She can do whatever she wants with her private parts. Always could. It'd be cracking me up. Dudes be thinking, "Oh man, I watch my girl and I got her phone and I can track this." First of all, why do you want to do that over another? That's a problem right there. If you want to track another human being on Earth that bad, you have a problem. That much focus on another person tells me that you have absolutely no focus on yourself, because you can't do both. You can't focus on a person. You can't focus on yourself and a person outside yourself. You can't do that at the same time. That's impossible. Things got these Apple trackers and this and that and putting them in the boyfriend's and girlfriend's car. Man, shit. Do you guys understand? Even situations like that, that is the perspective. Once you own yourself, you won't date a person that would do that. Put it this way, the chances of you dating a person that would put a tracker under your car to keep track of you are really, really low. Really low of you dating a person that would ever do that. Because you won't date a debt slave. All you got to do is listen to them. Like, put it this way, if you're a woman and you hear me, right? You understand what I'm saying, and you go out on dates, guys are the worst for this. Okay. They think things get women. So what they do, they go finance the things, cars, phones, jewelry, everything. And as a woman who is getting out of debt, and you want to know if the guy that you're seeing is in debt or even doing something illegal that could send that person to prison, all you got to do is listen. Hey, look at this car. You making payments? And they mentioned car payments. Where you work? I don't have a job. Those are all signs that date is probably not a good idea. Paying, like doing something illegal, say like the person is a drug dealer. Go and selling drugs, not paying taxes, making car payments on a car in their own name, and making car payments, and the car is in their name. Those are red flags. You're just like, no. Continue to date and never speak to them again. Why? Because when you understand how it works, your order of life is this: time is number one, money is number two. The laws of the United States say if you get caught selling drugs, you could possibly go to prison. That means they're going to take away something. You're doing it for money. That means if this is the truth, that means money is number one in your life, and number two is time. They're out of order. Something of less value is above something of more value in your life. I recently bought a Pixel 5 from Amazon, excellent condition, refurbished, unlocked. I remember SMD recommended it. I popped in that Mint Mobile SIM card, saved $200, $280, got it for $100. Ooh, yeah, nice. Wealthy parents surround their kids with other kids who are hip to this knowledge. Let me tell you something about this. As a father that has grown children, but the woman I'm dating has a young child. And he's about 9 now, but I came into his life about age 4, right? Now, in my mind, I was absolutely done with younger children in my life because of my experience, right? But I had to realize that I am a different man in this relationship and with her son. So when I was growing up as a Black kid, you always think spankings are the way you teach your children. You got to spank them. You got to spank. Well, now that I'm older and I have SMD knowledge, that is not true. That is absolutely not true. Now, in my mind, a spanking is reserved for serious things, not minor things. If your kid comes up to you and say, "Hey, fuck you, dad," okay, that deserves an ass whooping, because that kind of disrespect cannot happen. So they have to know that that's a severe penalty. No different than tax evasion. There's a severe penalty for that, but you have to know why. It's this like that. Now I understand that all you got to do is, when a kid does something wrong, they have to know that it's wrong. You don't assume when the kid does something wrong that they know that it's wrong, that what they're doing. That's what I've learned as now I explain it. Okay, because we're both good. So if he does something wrong, and I doesn't, first I have to be aware of if he does something, and I did not explain it to him. I have to explain it to him first, why that is wrong. And I've learned that since I've been doing that, he really doesn't do the things that he's not supposed to do when I explain it to him. Because when I'm done explaining it to him, I say, "Do you understand what I just said?" And he says, "Yes." And then we say, "Okay." And then he never does it again. When I was a younger parent, I didn't know that. I didn't take the time to do that. I was so wrapped up in myself, doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing, all that stuff. I was doing all that energy. My energy was going everywhere. Not all my energy, nothing was focused on anything. Now all my energy is focused on me, because you guys, with debt slaves, you guys don't really understand is that you guys have no idea how much energy is used when you are in debt. When you guys are worried about everything, what could happen in case of an emergency? I got to have this. What should I do to be investing? How can I make money, make more money, and this and that? You guys are using so much energy outside of yourself and none for yourself. Believing every video, hey, this is how you do it. It's real estate. That's the only way to do it. All out, everything outside yourself, everything. The majority of people giving you that information are debt slaves, talking about the talk coming from the negative side of the economy. Negative. Yeah. Okay, I read that wrong. Hip to this knowledge already, for sure. And honestly, I cannot wait, because you guys really don't, the majority of you guys don't get it. But when the wealthy people hear me speak, I'm going to be invited to some things, some places, and I'm sure they're going to open my world up wider than I've ever seen before in my life. I'm sure that's coming, because the wealthy will clearly be able to see that I did the hard work to get here. To get here, to be able to understand the economy is positive and negative, and there's a psychological part in it, and that all currency is debt slaves, they're going to clearly know that I understand. Now they can talk to me normally. They don't have to explain anything. When you hear people on their social media, hey, look, we just bought a house. We're homeowners. Did you get a mortgage? Yes. You don't own nothing. You see people on social media taking pictures in the front yard of the house with a paper key, talking about we're homeowners, smiling with the person that sold the house to them because they're getting a commission. It's business. I get it. Totally get it. Nothing's wrong with it. Even if you're a real estate person right now, and with this knowledge, you will make more money. Even I suggest, put it this way: if you're a real estate person right now and you learn, you come to me and I teach you what I'm talking about, you will be the best real estate agent in your area if you decide to stay that small. If you decide to stay there. And nobody will know how you're doing it, even if you told them. I will make you the best real estate agent in the business because you will know how it truly works. You continue to sell houses to people that buy them with mortgages, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's called business. If they believe they can buy a house with a mortgage, you sell it to them. But you'll be the best. This will be the difference between you. Say like you're a real estate person right now, but you're deep in debt. You don't know that there's a different perspective and a different type of energy that you will bring with your business with showing houses. You come here and I free you own yourself. The people that you show houses to, they will know that you're different. You won't have the energy as I really need to make this sale. I got to pay these bills. You won't have none of that energy. Your customers will feel that. I promise you, they'll feel it. They'll be like, wait a minute, this person is different. They won't know why you're different, but it'll be from the energy because you're free. You don't really, you'll be selling this house because you want to sell this house, not because you need to sell this house. Your customers will feel that. They will know that you're not trying to pressure them. They will feel that. I'm going to do the whole year in 3 months. Okay, when the bill is due. The year is better plus the lower it is Mint. Oh, Mint Mobile. Okay, gotcha. I'm going to do the whole. Okay, I gotcha. I'm going to do the whole year in 3 months. And okay, the year is better. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I always do the year. Mint is good. Visible Mobile. Yeah, Mint is good. They're just T-Mobile. Mint Mobile is powered by T-Mobile. Period. So that's how you determine. Like, this is what I suggest people to the SMD family members that you guys buy your phones in cash. I suggest you say, who is the best if you move to an area, because these are your options now. Whoever the carrier is the best in your area, just buy a phone made for that carrier, and then you get on the same service in that area. You know what I'm saying? If you're out and about like that. The realtor gives them I just bought a house sign to hold and take pictures with. Sure do. And what do they say at the end of every or wrote inside the picture? Hey, come see me if you want to be a homeowner. If you want to be if you no longer want to rent or whatever, right? Come see me. I get it. It's business. But if you want to be the best realtor in your area, in your state, come see me. I'll help you do that. I'll help you see what real estate really is. I'll help you see it. You'd be like, wait a minute, nobody owns nothing? No, the majority of people don't own nothing. And guess what? They don't know it. That's the lovely part about it. They don't even know they don't own. Ain't that shit? That shit is hands down amazing. Hey, do you know you're not a homeowner with having a mortgage? That's not true. This area, the appreciation, this and that, and the equity, and blah, blah, blah. Then they just start running that program. It's like they just won't shut up. No, watch. They don't even hear you. I got a guy on my Facebook. He always there's a house by the lake. He's always showing his feet up on the thing. You got a mortgage. That's not your house. But all the people in the comments, oh yeah, you're doing it right, this and that. No, he's not. If he has a mortgage, he's not doing anything right. Who cares if the house, who cares if the house is on the lake if it's bank owned? Who cares? When you guys, this is what they always do every year. They always do an NFL player, go see their house, see their cars. All you guys got to do is listen for mortgage or payments. That's all you guys got to be listening for. Or listen like this. They always tell what the price of the house is. Oh man, this house cost me this. And then if they say something like, all I did was put X down, that means they have a mortgage. That means the house that you're seeing on TV, they don't own it. They're making payments just like you, but their mortgage payments are bigger than yours because they got a bigger house. That's it. The house location, how big the house is, where it's at, how much land it's sitting on. It doesn't matter if it's financed. If it has a mortgage, it doesn't matter. Don't tell who that. Who you talking about? I know I'll be rambling on. Anyway, I've been on here for 2 hours. Let me put this thing out here if you guys have some questions of me. Life is good on the positive side of the economy. If you are a professional tax person, accountant, tax lawyer, doctor, deep in debt, but you make a lot of money, come see me. I will make you one of the best in your profession, especially if you love what you do, but you're deep in debt. I will make you the best. You're deep in debt, but you're still fair with your customers. You still give them correct advice, even if they don't like it. You charge them a fair price. I'm talking to you. And you're deep in debt, but you're still being fair and honest. Come see me. Your customers will change. They will know who they have, and they will pay you accordingly. You will become the best. Your customers will know you're the best, and everything will change. You'll be attracting money because people know this is all people want. This is all people want. The majority of people are scared of taxes. They just want to drop their information off to a person that is going to do them properly so they don't be in trouble with the IRS. That's all they really want. They just want somebody to say, hey, fix this. But they don't know who to choose. They don't know who to choose. This is where I come in for a person that's looking for that. I teach you how to choose the right person that's going to help you fix your tax problems. A professional tax person who is personally debt-free, and they know the three other pieces in the economy: positive, negative, and the psychological piece. They know the other pieces. They will file your tax work properly, which millions of people do not. But when you understand how it works, they always do. When you file your paperwork properly, of course the IRS notices that you're filing it properly. If they can save time from a person saying, oh, you did this wrong, you wasn't supposed to do this, this is how you do that, you know how much time that saves them? Because there's many of you doing it wrong. Oh, gotcha. Right. Well, you know what's so funny about that dude? I'm friends with him on Facebook, but I never go to his Facebook and comment on anything because I know it's all not real, so I don't do anything. So when I comment on my page, and this is how it always happens, and I've had to remove a couple people, they come to my page and then tell me I'm wrong or that's not true or whatever, right? And then they try to argue with me on my page. Now, if I go to somebody's Facebook page and they're saying something, like, for example, and this happens all the time, you go to anybody's page, they're telling you they just became homeowners. The majority of people are doing that right now. Hey, look, we're homeowners. Then you look at all the comments, but you know for a fact they have a mortgage, right? You know for a fact they didn't buy the house in cash, right? I don't leave a comment and say, hey, you're not really a homeowner if you have a mortgage. I just leave. But when I do it, the debt slaves come up because they're angry, so they have to say something. And the only thing I say to them is that I did not invent math. I didn't invent it. And they still try to argue with it. It's just bananas. But a couple people I had to just block because they were trying to, it was weird. It was like two people try to gang up on me on my page and try to have it was the weirdest thing. Try to have a conversation on my page about me. They were collabing on my page. saying, hey, that's not true. He's dumb. This and that. Okay, you guys are on my page acting like I'm not here. I just blocked you both. Now you guys can communicate about me on your own pages. And I barely block people, but I'm like, okay, you guys are just totally disrespecting. Okay, I gotta remove you. I don't really, man. I don't think I do it. I don't do no. Well, do I? Every now and then I do. And then I catch myself. Then I'll catch myself, and then I'll leave. I'm like, okay, let me get out of here. I shouldn't be doing no trolling. Nobody's gonna understand what I'm saying anyway. I got unfollowed for posting one of your videos about mortgages don't make you a homeowner. Sure. You know what's so funny? I heard that too. I heard a lot of people got unfollowed. Some questions. It's funny. They get angry at the truth. That is funny. My son even said, he's like, Dad, man, I shared your video with my friend, man. We argued and argued. Oh, that's not true. Your dad's wrong. And this is like, I said, son, if you want to keep your friends, do not tell them what your dad do. Do not tell him that. Do not tell anybody what your dad does, because it doesn't matter. If they're trapped in the debt matrix, they're trapped in the debt matrix, and you got to let them stay there. You can't do anything about it. You got to leave them. Some of you guys are going to leave loved ones, your children. Say like you're an adult and you have adult children, and you wake up and then you get out of debt and you see your kids still trapped in the debt matrix. You can't convince them otherwise. You got to leave them. You got to have the balls. That's what I mean by balls. You got to have the balls to say no to people, leave people. You're going to have to leave. If you're in a relationship and one of you guys wake up and the other one doesn't, the relationship is going to be over. I want you guys to be prepared for that. Because if one of you guys wake up and the person you love and you're in a relationship with, you might have children with, you might be years together, and one of you guys wake up and the other one refuses to wake up, the relationship is over. I want you to prepare yourself for that. I hope you have those kind of balls. LJ noticing family financing trips to Disneyland with mortgages and student loans from the early 2000s, posting about it. Sure is. They don't know. And if you want to keep those family members in your life, you just got to hit the like button. And got to remember, they're going to be paying for that trip for the next 5 years. You can't go to Disneyland while having student loan debt. Wow, these tickets, it's like people see Disneyland tickets. Oh my God, you know how much Disneyland tickets are? They're really expensive when you're financing them. Like debt slaves, you guys don't know. When you guys see Disneyland tickets and see the price of them, that's for people paying cash for Disneyland tickets. That is their price. If you're using a credit card to pay for those Disneyland tickets, your price is whenever you pay the credit card off. That'll be your price of the tickets. People that pay cash for the tickets, it's paid plus the taxes. Listen, plus the taxes on the ticket. They pay them cash and the deal is done right there. You guys finance the price of the tickets and the taxes associated with the tickets. And then you guys finance it for several years. So the price of the Disneyland tickets are way different than a person that understands the only way to buy Disneyland tickets, and that's cash. Only people that don't know finance Disneyland tickets. And if you use the credit card to buy Disneyland tickets, you finance Disneyland tickets. That's what you did. My friend told me, what should he get his girl for a surprise for Valentine's Day? And I said, buy her 2 dozen eggs. The price of eggs. That's crazy. You know, when I see that, this is exactly how I think. They say the prices of eggs are going through the roof. You know what I do? Stop eating eggs. I'll live. I'll just wait till the price comes down. I'm not gonna pay that. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. Sorry. I'll just stop eating eggs. How about that? Until the prices come back to normal. They must be looking. Listen, this is the brilliant thing that they do. Okay, they always do. They do this with everything. Debt slaves don't even see it. They'll just like they did with gas. They'll jack up gas so ridiculously stupid high to where people panic. When they bring it back down, it never goes back down to the price it was before it went up. But since it's down from the ridiculously high price, debt slaves will be happy with the new reduced price. See how it works? See how it works? So now they're jacking the eggs ridiculous. But when they come back down, they're probably not going to be the price they were before they went up. But you're going to be happy because the price is not going to be what it was just a few months ago or however long this is going to go. I get it. It's business, whatever. I don't really care. I can live without eggs. I can. I just won't eat them. Not a big deal to me. It's not a big deal. Now, if you have a business where you cook food, you really ain't got no choice. You got to pay those prices because your customers want eggs. Even NFL games, people are paying tens of thousands for then get depressed when they lose while financing the jerseys of another man's name on their back. LJ, they're too fun. They are too funny. Because you guys got it. This is what debt slaves don't remember. They don't realize. Okay, all the shirts and hats for the winners are already made. All of them are in the back. They're just gonna have to destroy the loot. You know, they're gonna have to destroy the losers' jerseys and hats. Can you imagine the guard that those jerseys and hats are under? I bet you that shit's under top security. They cannot, put it this way. Say like one team won and the opposing team lost, and somebody got a hold of a whole bunch of jerseys and hats of the team that really lost that year. They can't let that shit out. That'll go up in value for debt slaves. That will increase in value. Because you got to remember, there will be genuine. That would be genuine NFL product if they got a hold of that. You better believe that shit is under top guard and key. So when I think about, put it this way, when I think about Valentine's Day today, I wouldn't have, and I had this knowledge, I would not have fell for the pressure of that. There's a lot of guys when Valentine's Day come, and I was one of them. If I was with somebody, I just felt this pressure that I just had to do something, because if you don't, you're a bad boyfriend or something. Social media will make you feel like that. When you own yourself, you are honest with yourself. You are always number one first. So if you say like you're young and you date and you don't like Valentine's Day and you don't celebrate it, whoever you date, you will say that in the very beginning. By the way, I don't believe in all that Valentine's Day stuff, so I don't get any gifts, and I just don't do that. You let them, you let the woman know right up front. If that's what she wants, she won't date you no more and look for a guy that is into that. That's not a problem. That's okay. But she will always thank you for saying it and respect you for it. You say these things before anything jumps off. Sex, anything. Anything before. So none of that can be used. If you say everything up front and then you decide to have sex, nobody can say, "Oh, you're just saying that after you got the sex." No, it's not. That's not true, because I said that before we had sex. You know that. So nothing's changing because we're having sex. No, I told you before we had sex. So now she can't use that. You just take away that power of whatever that is, and you're like, nope, sorry, you made the decision to go ahead and do it, and it still stays. It doesn't, just because we had good sex doesn't change that I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Because some women will think that. They'll think, well, I'll change his mind if I whip it on him. But you'll be like, this changes nothing. Well, you ain't gonna get this no more. Okay, well, that's cool with me. That's fair enough. Some guys can't handle it. Oh, I got to get that again. You'll never be that guy that if you get a hold of some good sex, you will never allow yourself to be hooked on it like that. Like, oh, I got to get more. It will not change. And things, because a lot of guys will change after, oh man, I can't let this go. Okay, let me just do what she wants. Because there's a lot of women that would do that. But if you own yourself, you'll make sure that's clear each and every time that's brought up. After sex, you'll be like, hey, nothing changes. I still don't celebrate Valentine's Day. You guys, especially the younger you are, you guys don't really understand that. This is how easy it is. You guys, if you're with somebody and you're trying your hardest to figure out if they're fooling around on you or not, all you got to do is use the obvious thing that's in your face, the phone. The person's phone will tell you everything you need to know. You don't even have to go in it to see. When you're not, put it this way, I'm coming from a man that's not doing any of that. A man that's not fucking around on his wife in any form, texting, commenting, behind the scenes, another phone, whatever, right? Different number. I'm not doing any of that. So I get to set my phone down anytime I want. I don't care what pops up on it, any message. It does. She wants to use it for 2 or 3 hours. It doesn't matter to me because I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna look through your stuff. Go ahead. Here, you want me to unlock it? Here's, or tell them the code. Here's the code to get in it. Here, whatever. Take your time. I'm not sweating bullets, seeing what she's going through. See if some. That's how you guys can tell. You guys are so. It's so easy to tell in relationships today. All you got to do is see how a person reacts when you access their phone. Hey, my phone died. Can I use your phone? See if they say. See how they respond to it. Do they act funny? Because when you're not, like, I'm not doing anything. So if my woman asked to use my phone, I would just hand it to her. I wouldn't be worried about anything. I just say, here. Her fingerprint is in it. She can get into my phone anytime she wants because I'm not doing nothing. That's how you know, young people. You guys are making this so difficult. You think you got to follow somebody. All you got to do is say, hey, this is all you got to do. Can I use your phone? Say like you make sure it's somebody that you need to talk to who you normally talk to for a long time. Hey, can I use your phone? My phone died. I need to call my mom. I need to call my dad or my brother and see how they respond. If they just hand you the phone and go sit back down on the couch and watch TV, that looks like a pretty secure person. But if the person's worried about getting their phone back, that's a sign. That's a red flag. Why are you worried? Because when you're not doing nothing, example myself, there's nothing to worry about because I'm not doing nothing. Did I read this one? LJ, how do you feel? LJ, that's how I feel. I don't want the girl to get upset, but try and get out of debt. I really don't care about holidays. See what I'm saying? SPIV, and I'm not saying you don't have balls. I'm just saying to do this, you got to have balls. And this is the problem. I mean, it's not a problem because this is how it's designed. If SPIV, if you had if you had steel shackles on your arms and wrists right now because you're in debt and they're heavy and they're hurting, they're scratching up, peeling the skin off it, you wouldn't care what your girlfriend thought about you not feeling about holidays. You would not care. You'd be like, I don't care how you feel about holidays, but I'm getting these off. Especially if you're dating and she has debt too, and she has steel, but she doesn't care about having the steel things around her ankles, and you wouldn't care. You'd be like, no, I'm gonna leave you. Okay, whatever. See you later. People make it feel like a hard decision because that cold steel ain't around your arm, your wrists, and your ankles. They're there, but they're just psychological. You guys can't feel them. But if they was steel, cold, rusty steel, you wouldn't care what anybody thought about how you were getting out of these chains. Oh man, you ain't gonna go to the Super Bowl, man. You're gonna miss it all. You go to Super Bowl with chains on? No, thank you. I'm not doing that. LJ, I can only share your live to large Facebook groups where nobody knows me. I have lost a few friends when I share your live with family and friends, for sure. My son didn't understand that. When I told him that, I said, it's probably not a good idea. And he did it. He's like, man, me and my friend damn near got in a fight. I said, I told you not to share it with those guys. Don't share it with them. Oh, he's a real estate guy and he does this and that. And he says you wouldn't. It doesn't matter what they say. Of course, they're going to defend what they've always known. Debt slaves are going to, because what you're doing when you come to a debt slave and start talking about SMD, this is what you guys are really doing. You're trying to change their perspective. You're trying to change the only financial perspective that they've been told all their life, and you're trying to change it. Can you imagine what it sounds like to a debt slave when you say, hey, you can't buy a house with a mortgage? They don't know how to process that. Oh man, I've been here so many years. I got this much equity in my house. And you go up to them and say, you can't own the equity in a mortgaged house. They don't know how to process that. What are you talking about? You can't own equity in a mortgage house. Yes, you can. They don't know how to process that. You will lose them. That's why you got to just be quiet. I always tell, because SMD family members are people that just find this channel. They're really excited about learning something new. And the first thing they're going to do is go tell their loved ones. Hey, I found this guy. He said, all you got to do is use the calculator and just get out of debt and you'll be free. They'd be like, what? You talk? What? He's crazy. If that's true, everybody would be doing what he's doing. Nobody does what I do. That should give you guys a hint of the people listening today. Nobody does what I do. Isn't that a hint? LJ's been on this internet for like 6-7 years. Nobody's debunked him. Nobody's found him a liar. Nobody says he's telling the truth. He's not really, he's trying to scam you. Have you guys noticed that? Nobody's done that. Nobody's even challenged me. You know why? Because nobody can challenge math. That's why. If you challenge me, it's like challenging the calculator because I only go by the calculator. So challenging me is challenging the calculator. And if you don't agree with the calculator, guess what? You're wrong. Sex is easy to get if you have a financial free mind. That is very true. And people think, how is that easy? How's it? Being 100% honest with the woman. They don't get that. They don't get that. You guys don't understand. Women don't get that from men. Being 100% honest with them right up front will get you more sex than you could ever believe. Because they don't get it. When I'm out and about and I'm looking good or whatever, you get a girl trying to give me the eye, I just don't return the eye. Because I know what that means. I'm just aware of it. Oh, I know why you're looking at me like that, but nope. Not shy, nothing. Hey, you got a girlfriend? Yes, sure do. Some will act like, hey, whatever. She don't have to know. It doesn't matter. I know. She don't have to know. I have to know. See, a lot of people, especially men, they don't understand. It's all about energy. Say it like this. Say it like you're a guy, you're with a woman, you've been with a woman for years, you guys have children, and then you go away on a business trip far away. Your wife will never know that you met up with this woman, had sex with her in a hotel. She'll never know it. No way she'll find out. No way at all. And then you come home, and then one day she just says out the blue, why are you acting different? Have you ever noticed that? You ain't did nothing. No phone problems, nothing. And then she just saying, you acting funny. Why you acting funny? You know why she says that? Because of the energy that you brought home. You go have sex. Once you have sex with her, you just created an energy that wasn't there before. You just messed around on the person you claim to love. You just, listen, you love the person you're with, but you had sex with another person. So your love, that's the type of love you have. The type of love you have involves having sex with other people. Now, I'm pretty sure her version of love will be different than yours if you told her that. So you come home, you bring the energy home. You're bringing it home. The only person that needs to know that you were unfaithful is you. You will bring that energy home. Making sure, because you'll be making sure all your bases are covered. Make sure you wash your clothes, or you didn't have any extra condom. All this energy being used for something that you wasn't supposed to do. And what you don't understand is that when a person is not looking for it, it usually comes straight to them. It usually comes out the blue when one day you're not doing something or something, and the infidelity just pops up in some form or fashion. What makes it happen like that? You. The energy was bringing it. You were attracting the answer. Everything is negative and positive. Everything. So when the answer pops up into your partner's face out the blue, 5 years later down the line, when something happened and found out the trip was whatever, and she didn't know about it, or the other woman got upset and she thought you loved her, and this, and it always happens. The reason why it happens is because you brought it to the house. You did. If you're a guy that does that, you're not thinking about your woman, you're not thinking about your children, you're not thinking about your house, you're not thinking, because all of that changed for sex with a woman. That's a problem. That's a serious, you should evaluate that. One nut can cost you your whole entire life. Couldn't even imagine that today. I couldn't even imagine that. I could only imagine if LJ's friends, family are not watching the Super Bowl, don't celebrate. T. Gray must think he's weird. They probably do. I'm not sure. Him, let me see your phone. Her, okay. Him, let me see your phone. Her takes 30 seconds to delete search history, logs, social media accounts while crossing her fingers that no text comes in. Look at all that energy. People make it so hard Can you imagine being with somebody that's telling you they love you and you have a feeling that they're fucking around? That's got to be horrible. And I want people to understand this. If you're in a relationship, and I'm not talking about a paranoid fear, because I'm talking about there's proofs, there's things that people do that are fucking around because they have to do weird things to involve another human being. Okay, you have to do different things you don't normally do when there's not another human being involved. Of course, your habits are going to change. So if you're with somebody and they in the beginning they wasn't seeing anybody or fooling around, they have a pattern. This is what they do. You do the repetitive things when you're not. I mean, you do other repetitive things, but you don't do the odd things because you don't have another person involved outside a relationship. But when you involve another person, of course things are. This is the famous one. Oh, I'm working late. All you guys say the same thing that are in that world, that perspective of the world where you guys fuck around on each other. That's a perspective. You guys all say the same things. Oh, I'm working late. I have an out of town business. What else do you guys all say? This is my friend. She's my cousin. Change the number in the phone to a guy's name. You guys all do that. That's all energy wasted. But you guys all do it to each other. People will mess around on somebody with somebody else and then get mad if the person outside the relationship is also having sex with somebody else. They'll get mad and think they're getting fooled. It doesn't make no sense. But wait a minute, you're married. You're fooling around with your spouse. What are you talking about? You guys are all in the same perspective because in my perspective, that doesn't exist. The wasted energy of checking phones and where you're at and all that stuff, that doesn't exist in my life, nor would I allow it in my life. But it's a beautiful thing when it doesn't exist. Beautiful. Don't have to worry about anybody slipping in anybody's DMs. Because when it happens to me, I just block it. See ya. Bye. I know it's inappropriate. I'm not clueless. Not clueless at all. I just don't allow it in my life. When you own yourself, you understand that. And here's what the craziest part. I want the younger you are to understand this, and I hope you really do. I want you to really understand when you own yourself, you understand that time is the most valuable thing on earth, the time in your life that you have left here. Time. Now, this is how I'm going to give you guys an example how powerful sex can be if you let it. Everybody knows that there is a disease that could take your life having sex, unprotected sex. Everybody knows that. With that knowledge, you decide to go ahead and have unprotected sex with the person. That should tell you how powerful it is. If you ignore the fact that that is a possibility of contracting a disease that could take your life, and you ignore that possibility, that should tell you how powerful sex is. That should tell you. That should tell you your life order is out of order. Time is not first. Because if I say it, I guess there's three: time, money, and sex. Time, money, and sex. Those are the three top. Time is always first, never. But if money or sex becomes number one in your order of life, your life is out of order. You playing with the time you have left here on earth? when you go deeper, you really think about different things, especially if you have children. You're like, wait a minute, if I have unprotected sex and something happens, my children are left without me. You think very differently. And I'm leaving because I didn't want to protect myself? That no, no, that's out of order. And woman told me I'm just blunt with my I'm just blunt with my shit. I don't have time to hide men, numbers, or other things. That takes too much effort, and I'm too lazy for that. I was rolling on the floor when she said that, for sure. All you gotta do is be honest with yourself. I want to see, if you're a person that wants to see multiple, say like you're a young man and you want to date and have sex with multiple women, all you have to do is be honest with every woman you encounter. That's all you have to do. They will respect you. They won't say any negative things about you. That's what they want. They want a truly honest man. I'm not saying pretend to say things because you want to have sex with her. No, you tell her the things about you tell her the things that you like and don't like in your life before having sex with her. I'm not looking to date seriously. I'm just looking to have sex. You just be honest. I'm just looking to have sex. That's it. Nothing more than that. I don't want any relationship. I have women calling my phone all the time, so I don't want you looking at my phone and asking questions about my phone. I don't want you to do that. If you do that, the relationship's over. Anything, you just say it all up front and then leave it in her court to see if she want to mess with you. She might be in the same position as you. Hey, yeah, I just want, I feel the same way. That's all I want to do. Okay, cool. We just get together, have protected sex, and that's that. Nobody's being lied to. Nobody's fooling around on. You don't have to fool around on people. You don't have to have sex uh, behind people's back. All you gotta do is tell them up front. You don't have to play anybody. Women will love you for that. All you're doing is being honest with yourself first. That's it. Just being honest with yourself. That is it. They will love you for that. This dude is different. Because put it this way, men don't even know this part. Once you own yourself, sex no longer controls you. You control it. And when you control sex, women can feel that. They can tell. They can tell. I promise you guys, they can tell. You'll look at women different. I mean, you'll still admire if they have a nice body or whatever, but they will be able to tell that you're looking at them different than the majority of men. Because when you control sex, you don't have that hungry look in your eye anymore. It's not there anymore because you're not that. You don't have that hungry, like, ooh, I want to know. That's not there. You just look and say, oh wow, she looks good. She got a nice body, whatever, but that's it. You don't have the desire, like, ooh, I gotta hit that. No, no, She might first thing I think, well, she's cute, but she might not like my rules of what I have for myself. So no reason to get into all that other stuff. If there's no reason of, hey, we get together, she's like, oh, I'm looking for a serious relationship. Well, I'm not. Okay, well, nice. So all that stuff of wanting to have sex with her, and what you'll do, and if you got that, all of that would be just been wasted energy. That's how I do it. There's no reason to go any further. Say like, say like you see a woman. Say like if I was in my 30s, I see a woman. She looks nice, and we're early 30s, and she looks good. She's nicely spoken, but then she got hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. There's no reason to go into any of that other thought. And she wants a relationship. Say like she's in hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and she's looking for a relationship. There's no reason for me to go any further into the fantasy of what it would be like to have sex with her, because it's not going to happen. If she's looking for a relationship and she's deep in student loan debt, I'm not having a relationship with her. That's it. No. And that goes the same for a woman towards a man. Same thing. When two people in debt are deep in debt, get married, and then they get a divorce, that's why you guys are in court. Now you got to give away even more money that you don't have to resolve this stuff that you're in. Usually the majority of people that get divorced, they're deep in debt. So now they got to pull out the credit card to hire lawyers. Sometimes I think about, there's a lot of lawyers, I'm sure, that don't get fully paid. That's got to be because debt slaves have no money and lawyers are expensive. And of course, they're going to pay the lawyer as long as the lawyer is working on the case. But once the case is over and settled and they owe the lawyer still, I can imagine how many lawyers don't get paid. I can only imagine that. What's up, Arlene? All of that is a perspective. If you decide to have a child with a person in debt, you could look forward to being in court. Child support, judges dictating your finances, all that stuff. It's all, I get why they do it. Trust me, there's nothing wrong with it. What people don't realize is that you don't have to be part of that part of the system. You're choosing to be there. If you're choosing to have a child unconsciously just because the sex is good, you're choosing to be in the court system. That's what you're choosing. Especially like young men, they do that. They don't really understand the consequences to their actions. Having children at 18, 17, oh, this is my baby, this and that. You guys have no idea the long-term effects that's going to have not only on you, but the child too. You're still a child. Probably raising a kid how you see on TV or TV shows or something, because you maybe didn't have a good example for yourself. So what do you have to go by? What you see around you. How do you know if that perspective is right? Like I said earlier, when I was growing up, spanking your children was just the thing to do. That was normal. So you grow up, you thinking that's how it's done. That's not true. That is not true. The first thing you think when somebody not spanking their kids, you think of white people. Oh, that's what white people do. No, that has nothing to do with nothing. Of course, there's spoiled white kids. There's spoiled black kids too. So whenever you hear somebody say no spanking and you think of white people, just think that's a program that has been put in your head. There are white people that I'm sure discipline their children good. Don't allow the same disrespect as a black person. It's a different kind of, like, it's different. You as a parent, like, I think back right now, if I had this knowledge as a parent, I would understand that I have to explain this person who is brand new to the world, which is a kid. This kid is brand new, empty hard drive for brain. They're just looking for input. Most of them don't know what's wrong or right. They got to be told and explained to why this is that. Now, if you explain to a child why something is wrong, and then they decide to go ahead and do it, you know for a fact as a parent that they logically chose to defy what they're not supposed to do. You know that for a fact. It's not a guess. So whatever punishment justifies it at that time, it would be valid. Like if you have a young child and they curse at you, like you're somebody on the streets, that's extreme disrespect. They have to know that that cannot be done. In my world, that would warrant a butt whooping. They would know the severity of that particular rule being broken. Now, if they came home with bad grades, no, I'm not going to spank them. I'm going to take away something, or you can't go somewhere. That doesn't warrant an ass whooping. Unfortunately, I was young, but my mom didn't do it. She didn't do it that much, but just growing up, just people around me, it almost like some kids got an ass whooping for just anything. Spilt the cereal, got a little water in the sink or whatever, just stupid stuff. Yeah. Don't leave any marks. I will have to arrest you. Look at that. See what I'm saying? They got away with that when in the younger years. They got away with that. I just think now who I am today, if you explain to a child what they can and cannot do, and they decide to break that rule or whatever, there has to be a punishment because you're going to send them out in the world thinking they can do the same thing, but the law is not going to care who they are or how they were raised. Hold on for a second here. Hold on. Whoops. That's why I say when you understand SMD knowledge, you're going to naturally pass this to your children. It's going to naturally pass down to your children. And then they won't go out into the world and be succumbed by the debt slaves telling them what they can and cannot do to become wealthy and rich. Can you imagine? Put it this way. Can you imagine the families of, let's just stick with since Super Bowl is going on, the families of the NFL, the owners' families. Can you imagine how they must view debt slaves that don't know? Like you see what people buy when they get money, just ridiculous. Just and it doesn't really matter. The majority of, I guarantee you this, I don't even know, but I believe it to be true. The majority of NBA players, I bet you they're making, I mean, NFL players, I bet you they're making payments, mortgage payments, car payments. I can only imagine how their money is getting taken advantage of right now. I can only imagine. You don't know about, listen, you don't know about money at all. You don't know there's a psychological piece and a positive and negative. Never had money. And then all of a sudden get millions of dollars. Having no idea what that means. First thing I'm gonna do is spend it and not pay their taxes. I bet you there's a whole bunch of players, professional athletes in tax trouble because nobody explained it to them. You get that much money, you know what kind of tax bracket you're in when you get that kind of money? You're in a very, you gotta have some people that knows how to divide that money up properly to keep it. Where to put it. And buying cars and clothes is not where to put it. Diamonds, big worthless chains, only worthless to people in that perspective of the world. People in other perspectives in the positive side would never wear chains like that ever in public. I saw 30-inch rims on a car the other day. 30 inches on a car? How much did you pay for that? When I see stuff like that, I have an idea where the money came from. The average person could not afford the rims and tires for 30-inch rims. You got to redo the car, the frame, the bars. That's a lot of money. Diamond chains are nice in my debt-free opinion. They're nice. And I'm not saying don't buy a diamond chain. If you want a diamond chain, buy the chain in cash. That's all I'm saying. If you want to wear a diamond chain, wear it, but have the money to do it. That's all I'm saying. I don't want people to think that if you become SMD, you shouldn't buy a Ferrari, you shouldn't get a house with 12 rooms, you should have multiple cars. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying own them. That's all. All you got to do is just own it. When I saw what's that, Omi the Hellcat dude, he was the cars and the houses. I'm just like, you guys don't understand. That's for you guys, debt slaves, you, so you'll believe whatever he's about to sell you. All they got to do is show you guys stuff. Look at these cars. Look at this Phantom. Look at this, and all of a sudden, you guys just believe that they own the stuff that they're showing you. Then all of a sudden, you find out, hey, he took somebody else's product and was selling it. You can't do that. You can't make money off of what somebody else created without paying them. Would you want somebody to do that to you? If you created a product and was making money and somebody just took it and started making money off it and didn't tell you, not paying you nothing, you can't do that. Especially if you worked hard to create it. Why would you allow that? Listen, the stuff people buy with the money they have, it usually kind of tells you how they're getting this money. How they spend it almost tells you how they're getting it. Because I promise you, when you earning the money the correct way, you spend it a certain way. In my 18 years of work, it's been wild seeing all these crazy relationships and drama between humans. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be bad because they're broke. I'm sure police have seen an uptick in domestic violence. The people are blaming each other. They don't really know it's just both of them, but they're probably blaming each other. You did this and then all of the problems that came. Well, if you didn't fuck around with this girl and spent all of them, and then it just comes up, then it just blows up. Because people say they forgive something. Like, people really believe that if you're in a relationship and you found out your partner messed around on you sexually with another person, you really believe that you can get over it. No, you can't. That bond right there is broken forever. It will never be the same, ever. No matter how you think you're going to forgive, you're not. And then the next argument that pop up, and if you put it this way, if you've done something in a relationship, but when you get into an argument with that person and they bring that situation back up, that means it's not over. It means it still hurts them. It still bothers them because they're still bringing it up. If they were over it, it would never pop up. A person that truly forgives you, they don't bring it back up in an argument. It's because it's forgiven. Yes, they do. Lease rims and cars, all that. Payments on the cuts made by the car. Man, crazy. By the cuts by the body. And now the car is only worth something to people in that particular perspective of the car world. They just limited themselves of who they could sell that car to. Only a specific type of person is going to buy a bright pink car with 30-inch pink rims on it. There's only a certain amount of people that's going to buy that type of car. No, I know you don't care about cars, Gabriel. Anyway, I guess it's time to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Much appreciated. For you guys going to Super Bowl, enjoy yourselves, debt slaves. Just remember what I said, okay? Just remember what I said. And hopefully this video gets to the wealthy NFL owners. Reach out to me, okay? Because I'm sure you guys can show me a lot more than what I don't even see already. But till next time, see you later.